From our free daily newsletter, the latest from podnews.net with Magellan AI. The power is in our hands, says Losh Moodley in an eagerly anticipated new article for Pod News. Power might be consolidated by the platforms that control distribution, and it's especially the case for podcasting's middle class. But the good news is that there are ways to gain economic leverage and own many parts of the relationship needed for podcasting, she says. It's nice to read good news at the end of this week, so let's have some more. Good news for video podcasters from Apple Podcasts. They shared early results from 3 shows that have been distributing video via HLS on the platform. Ted's How to Be a Better Human sees new follows on Apple Podcasts increasing by 113%. Tony and Ryan saw unique audience grow by nearly 40%. And the Meat Eater podcast saw new follows up by 151%. Great news for Odyssey, which has announced a strategic partnership with the Midas Touch Network, including one of the biggest podcasts in the US. The shows will join Odyssey on September the 1st. Odyssey becomes exclusive audio partner for sales and distribution. Odyssey has also signed Dumb Blonde, another top 50 podcast. Thanks to the podcast location feature in new podcast hosts, we have a great new way to discover podcasts. Podcast Radar shows podcasts on a globe, as well as a full search to find podcasts made near you or about places near you. It's brilliant. We'll link to it today from our show notes and from our newsletter at podnews.net. Numbers are going up. News podcasts grew in total audience by 8.4% in the US last quarter. It's the fastest growing category, says Triton Digital's Quarter 2 26 US podcast ranker, which includes lots of good news if you're wanting to get good advertiser returns. From their Demos Plus service, discover smaller categories listened to by big spenders. People are listening. The Advertising Landscape UK study from Sounds Profitable and Sound Insights shows that listeners are paying attention, trust what they hear, and the best news, they act on it. 44% of 18 to 34s made a purchase after hearing a podcast ad in the past 3 months. Good news for the Podcast Academy's future. I'm incredibly excited about what we're building, says Ami Thacker, the Executive Director of the Podcast Academy, in a letter to members we link to today. Good news for advertisers who want to learn what's coming up. The IAB Podcast Upfront has announced its full agenda. The invitation-only event is on September the 16th, sandwiched between the Sounds Profitable Business Summit and Podcast Movement. Brilliant news too for podcasters in Ireland, where the Soundwaves Conference has been announced for a second year, along with the All Ireland Podcast Awards. Tickets are now available. And good news, lots of people are sharing their megaphone stories with us, or with Flightpath, so we can come back to this story on Monday. Use us if you want to keep your name out of it, editor at podnews.net, and let's not just sit this one out. Also, good news, your 50,000 view, 150 video podcast on YouTube wasn't automatically removed this week for no reason whatsoever. On Monday, we'll cover someone's channel which has, but good news, we're not covering that today. In People News, great news for Lower Street. We hear that Lex Friedman is now Lower Street's fractional CRO. We don't know if the job requires him to wear a cap or talk in a British accent, though. And good news from Pave Studios, who have named Jennifer Passavoy, a 5 times Emmy-winning producer, as head of unscripted video. And in podcast news, good news. After just a year, Parent Unplugged has reached number 1 in Apple Podcasts' parenting chart and been long listed for some awards. The show has built a community of more than 80,000 people. Good news from Hello Puzzlers, which recently had New York Times puzzle editor Will Shortz on the show. Lex Friedman tells us it was lovely. The Pod News Weekly Review this week doesn't have Sam Sethi on it, but the good news is it's got Liam Heffernan as a guest co-host this week. There's some good news in there somewhere too, honest. And good news, Secrets from a Coach is celebrating its 300th episode. The show has got more than 72,000 downloads. 78% of listeners live outside the UK and 81% listen via their mobile phones. The weekly show focuses on positive actions to help you thrive and maximise your potential in the ever-evolving workplace and in life. And this podcast is sponsored by Magellan AI. Smarter signals, smarter podcast decisions. See how in Beyond the Buy from Magellan AI and True Native Media. You can download the guide. You'll find a link in our show notes. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe for free, we're at podnews.net.